World War I, also known as the Great War, was a conflict that reshaped the world forever. It was a war of empires, a war of alliances, and a war that no one thought would last as long as it did. Yet, for 4 long years, the world was engulfed in unimaginable destruction. But how did it all begin? And what made it one of the deadliest conflicts in human history? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the story of World War I. Chapter 1, The Spark That Lit the Flame. Narrator, the world of 1914 was a powder keg waiting to explode. Tensions between major European powers had been building for decades due to nationalism, militarism, and tangled alliances. But the spark that ignited the inferno came on June 28, 1914, in the city of Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife Sophie were assassinated by a Serbian nationalist named Gavrilo Princip. What seemed like an isolated act of violence quickly escalated into a full-blown war as Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. And because of a web of alliances, countries were dragged in one by one. Russia supported Serbia. Germany backed Austria-Hungary. France and Britain stood with Russia. Within weeks, Europe was at war. Nightmare. Narrator, when war broke out, many believed it would be over in a matter of months. But instead of quick victories, both sides dug into defensive positions, creating a new kind of warfare, trench warfare. From the North Sea to Switzerland, soldiers lived in trenches filled with mud, rats, and disease. Between these trenches lay no man's land, a deadly expanse of barbed wire and machine guns. Advances were measured in meters, and battles like the Somme and Verdun resulted in hundreds of thousands of casualties. For soldiers, life in the trenches was pure misery. Imagine spending months in a ditch, cold, wet, and under constant artillery fire. Every day, the possibility of a gas attack, sniper fire, or a full-scale charge loomed. This was the brutal reality of the Great War. Technological terror. Narrator, World War I wasn't just fought with old-fashioned rifles and bayonets. It was the first war of the modern age, where industrialization met destruction. The world saw the first use of tanks, airplanes, and machine guns on a massive scale. Artillery bombardments could last for days, turning battlefields into moonscapes. Poison gas, such as mustard and chlorine gas, brought a new horror to the battlefield, burning lungs and blinding those who inhaled it. War had changed forever. The Great War introduced a terrifying future where technology and industry could be harnessed for mass destruction. Chapter 4, America Joins and the Tide Turns. Narrator, for much of the war, the United States remained neutral. But that changed in 1917. Germany's unrestricted submarine warfare led to the sinking of ships like the Lusitania, killing civilians, including Americans. Then came the infamous Zimmermann telegram, a secret message from Germany to Mexico, promising territory if Mexico joined the war against the U.S. These provocations pushed the United States to enter the war in April 1917. With fresh troops and industrial power, the Allies gained the upper hand. German forces, exhausted and outmatched, began to crumble. Chapter 5, The war ends, but the world changes forever. Narrator, by late 1918, Germany faced internal unrest, revolution, and economic collapse. On November 11, 1918, at the 11th hour, on the 11th day, of the 11th month, World War I officially ended with an armistice. But peace didn't come easily. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, placed heavy punishments on Germany, blaming it for the war and imposing severe economic restrictions. Many believe this harsh treatment planted the seeds for an even greater conflict, World War II. Meanwhile, the war had redrawn borders, dismantled empires, and changed societies forever. It introduced the concept of total war, where civilians and soldiers alike bore the costs. The world would never be the same again. Outro. Narrator: World War I was a war like no other, a war that started with a single gunshot but ended with millions of lives lost. It shaped the 20th century and left scars that are still felt today. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history. What do you think was the biggest consequence of World War I? Let's discuss in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring history, it has so much to teach us.